I realized I hadn't made a video in quite a while and just thought that I would show something, a brief project that I've been working on. Um, I never intended to make videos regularly or anything like that. I just figured I would post stuff that I found cool periodically. So this is a project that I've been working on since last year, with the shutdowns and everything. I had a bunch of spare time on my hands, and I happened to be on Arms List in, I guess, 2020, late 2020, and I saw a just a spectacular deal on a Savage 111 chambered in 30-06. It was factory plastic rifle. It's one of the older. It was one of the older Savages that had the flat rear base and the round receiver base. Um, so I picked it up, and like I said, it was a beater. It was it'd been used, but action was smooth and tight, and rifling was good. But I didn't need another 30-06, so I decided to look into rebarreling it, and I knew that whatever I rechambered it in needed to be something that could be compatible with a long action. And I really didn't want to get into swapping bolt faces or anything like that. So I needed something that would function reliably or feed reliably out of the internal box mag that um, these Savages have. So what you see here in front of you is a Savage Model 111 Action that has a new uh, Edward Arthur Brown heavy barrel installed that is chambered in 6.5 by 55 Swede. I've always loved that round. If you've never had a chance to shoot a Swedish Mauser, I highly recommend it. It's just a nice, soft shooting round that's very accurate, very flat shooting. Um, and so rather than cutting up an authentic Swedish Mauser and scoping it and things like that, I took this opportunity to modernize or to make a modern rifle chambered in a vintage military caliber. And so that's what this did. This is I ordered the barrel for Christmas and had the action, professionally cleaned up and things like that. And it was all rehead spaced and things like that. I was able to track down EGW makes a one piece base that will accommodate the flat base and round front for the scope bases. They are not as common as the round and round that you see on a lot of the newer Savages. Um, and then I put it in this Hogue overmolded stock that has the rubber, that rubber all weather protection on it. And I can't say that I love it, but I was really unsure what I wanted to do with this rifle. I bought the stock at the same time that I ordered the barrel. Actually, no, I take that back. I had actually ordered a Boyd's like double A walnut for this and ordered it in a heavy barrel configuration, not realizing that the EA Brown heavy barrel was bigger than the factory Savage contour for heavy barrel. And so rather than cutting up and grinding and sanding this really nice, Boyd stock, I decided to sell that on eBay with the factory barrel. And I just purchased this because the price was right, and I really wasn't sure what I was gonna do, with this rifle, which is why it's not even scoped. Um, I'm a Leupold scope person for the most part, and all the ones that I do have are currently on other rifles. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. It'll likely just be a target shooting type rifle. And so I'll probably take this stock off and maybe put it in a chassis or something like that. But with the dummy rounds that I've made, everything feeds and cycles. I had to do some fitting on the stock here. There's, in between the bedding pillars, there was some plastic that is meant to be basically carved out with a chisel to fit your magazine spring and follower. And so I had to do that to get it to sit right in the barrel, but it actually is free floated and everything like that. Rifle, despite it having a heavy barrel, still shoulders really nicely. And the cooler thing about this older Savage is this actually has obviously it doesn't have the AccuTrigger as you can see right there, but it has the older multiple adjustment Savage trigger in it that if you look at it is actually the design for the Timney replacement in Savage triggers. So my understanding is that Timney actually designed their trigger based off of this style of Savage trigger. And so right now I've got it really nicely set to probably, 2.5 pounds or so, maybe 3. It's just super crisp. There's no take up. There's no over travel, nothing. So I'm really happy with that. I think this rifle has a lot of potential. And so I wanted to show you, I mentioned that the rounds are kind of interchangeable on the same bolt face. So so this on the right here is a 150 grain just Federal 30-06 round soft point, and then this on the left here is a 139 grain soft point and 6.5 just by PPU. But I wanted to show, so obviously the 30-06 is slightly longer, dictating that it's a long action caliber, but the 6.5 is really not that much shorter, and this has a soft point on it. So if I were to go to something that had more of like a Spitzer style bullet or a match bullet, something like here, it gives me more room for an overall seating depth, so I can actually run the cartridge a little bit longer, to really customize the rounds and things like that for it, and just a bunch of different options. And even though the distance is long action, the follower and magazine well and things like that works here for the 6.5. But I figured I would pick them up and actually show you on the back that even though their lengths are different, the case heads there are pretty much the same. They both utilize, I think it's a like a 461 case head opening. I'll have to look that number up. I might have just made it up. But anyway, this is just kind of an experiment I've been working on the last couple of months. It's obviously far from over. I said that I'm not super happy with the stock situation. I need to figure out a scope for it. I might just pick up something from like Primary Arms on Black Friday and throw it on there for the time being. Not that they make bad scopes. I do have some of their stuff on other rifles, but like I said, whenever possible, I do try to, kind of buy once, cry once with Leupold and their prices. So anyway, I just figured I'd make a video, show you some of the cool things you can do with these Savage pre-fit barrels, and you can do it affordably. I think I paid like $200, $250 maybe for just the original Savage 111. And then I bought off Amazon of all places, I bought a Savage barrel wrench and was able to, pull the barrel, the old barrel off, and I sold that on eBay to, offset some of the cost and things like that. So all said and done here, even with the new barrel, which I think was like $250, I'm really only in this gun a couple $100, from selling the old barrel and the old stock and just things like that. So you can do some pretty cool things if you do a little bit of research and look at some round head spacing compatibility and things like that. So anyway, that's it. Hope you all take care.